I felt it was long overdue for me to put in my 2 cents on something that years ago I remember when I moved back to Colorado from Hong Kong and I was made aware of the MGTOW movement, men going their own way. And I had my commentary on it. And man, I have taken so much flack over the years because when you live your life and you're honest, but you can't be placed into a nice, neat little box. Americans can be really nasty, mean, cruel, bullies. It doesn't it doesn't go away when you become an adult. It never does. Never does. People will ridicule anybody who's genuine. Our culture's fascinated with the stupid. It's fascinated with SUVs, Starbucks, and dogs. I mean, that alone ought to tell you something. Most people get on the road, they drive like idiots. I personally think a lot of Americans are just jerks, male or female. Most Caucasian men are assholes. I make no bones about it. And America is going through some intense growing pains. We got people coming over here that hate our Constitution, hate our country, and I don't care for them at all. And I have been attacked by many. There's a movement called No Fap, and it is making claims akin to Amway. It is making claims just like the televangelist that you can't outgive God. You give $1,000 to me and my ministry, and God will bless you. You know how many people there are that attend these false preacher teacher churches, and they will never get rich, but the preacher's getting richer and richer and has Learjets, mansions, $3,000 Armani suits. Please. Christians should shun those kinds of people. I had a relationship online with a woman years ago in another country. She was honest, I was honest. Then she decided to turn against me, and the term sensual heretic came up. And there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. She liked to masturbate. So did I. But then she'd feel guilt about it. As a Christian, before I even say what I'm going to say, you need to do what you feel you need to do. I'm not thus saith the Lord. Not at all. And I make mistakes. I have made many mistakes. So what I'm giving you is expressly my opinion. And obviously, I don't expect everybody to agree with me. People made accusations that I get rid of anybody on YouTube that doesn't agree with me. No, that's not true. I block, ignore, and don't have anything to do with people that are nasty. They want to be mean and make rude comments, and yeah, who wants to be around that? I've had preachers tell me that masturbation leads to homosexuality, that masturbation leads to all. I've had preachers tell me that you can even control a nocturnal emission. Folks, I'm going to tell you, sometimes Christians are the biggest liars. Now you've got women, Caucasian women, Any of you that know me know that I've talked openly and freely about the demise of good women in the Caucasian sector in America. We have a Christian culture out there of Beth Moore and all these professed, I don't know what you want to call them. They're making big money promoting themselves and calling it ministry. Beth Moore is not what I would call an attractive woman. She dyes her hair. She buys the dowdy, boring clothes that every white woman seems to buy. And she's full of herself and has a following and an ego and a mansion and a big lifestyle. And I look at somebody like that, and the Bible says, I do not permit a woman to teach or have authority over men. And excuse me, I don't know why my allergies kick in the minute I get on YouTube. Go figure. The fact is women have changed in American culture in a not so pleasant way. Women want to blast men for masturbating. They want to blast men for touching themselves. But those same women will not date us anymore. Excuse me. And women think they're all that on a stick. I've talked about this. There's no sense in beating a dead horse. And women now set themselves up as some holy deity that should I or any of you approach them, we'd better be perfect. Let's stop that madness right now. They are not God. They did not die on a cross for our sins. We're not bowing to that, and nor should any man. Men need to live their lives in such a way, and if a woman's interested in him, a woman needs to submit up under him. Us men today bowing down and doing everything we can to woo a useless female because of that thing between our legs is a bunch of foolishness. Start unpacking American women. Look at their purses, look at their cars, look at their lifestyles, their obsession with dogs, and all the junk and baggage that they have, and ask yourself, you really want to be with that? Women are constantly attacking men in the church, out of the church. Then the No Fap movement is this idea that women want this man who's sexually pure, as if women get to set the standard, as if women don't do anything wrong. Talk to a woman about her OCD over dogs. She'll go ballistic on you. Talk to a woman about her obsession with Starbucks, a company that supports all kinds of wrong things just on a biblical level. Talk to most American women, and they know more about Hollywood and the who's who of Hollywood than they do about biblical anything. And I've said this before, you will not find women reading Strong's Concordance and Bible commentaries. No. Even Christian women are emotionally driven logic much of the time. And just like their world counterparts, they want a perfect man, even though they themselves do not measure anywhere close to perfection. I think women dyeing their hair a different color than God gave them is disturbing. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's sin, but women chop off their hair. They wear ugly clothes from Target, Ross, Christopher, and Banks, and they walk around with an air and an attitude. It's like, yep, you're just like everybody else. And the reason I'm taking the time to say this is more men are masturbating today than getting a date because it's almost impossible now. I go to a nightclub occasionally to shoot pool. I don't dance as much as I was several months ago. I used to get up and dance, and I don't. But watching drunk, stupid women is just, I don't have a temptation towards them. I'm like, yeah, that's just a liability. But I watch women dressed like slinky skanks with their geeky boyfriends, and they think they're so damn special, and the guy's got to booze her up. And I think, wow, what a great thing to achieve. A selfish narcissist girl that you got to spend all your money on, who can slut tease every man out there. Any man that goes after that is a fool. Now you got women weighing in on masturbation. Talking about all the benefits that No Fap can do. I've tried it. I've tried it over the years. I haven't recently. And people used to get on my channel and say, Pacific's going to masturbate himself to death. No, I spend more time at work and my other projects. No. Masturbation really is the safest sex. You don't have to bond. You don't have to get involved with a flutie that you will regret day. And you can rub one out and go on about your day. And I've said this before, lust blinds us. We can see a pair of breasts go by, nipples, and it gets us all worked up. And we often, because of that, don't take the time to get used to it. I can tell you about failed marriages where I was impulsive and regretted a 14-year marriage with a woman that not only do I not think she's pretty today, but I look at the damage that she did was just unfreaking believable. People have to decide for themselves what they're going to do. If you feel like to get closer to God, you need to stop doing something, then by all means do it. I am not as close to God as I should be. And we will all have to stand and give an account to God. We are not going to stand and give an account to some ratchet woman judging you. She is not the bar association of God's court. And any man that feels that they need to go through the gymnasium of a woman's requirements to get a date with her, you're a foolish man. You need to live your life. And if a woman's interested in you, let her show that. Carry on. We're not bowing to women, and the scriptures do not tell us to bow to them. Women today in America will talk about us men till the cows come home, but they won't talk about their feminism. They won't talk about their silence about abortion, but they'll scream and yell about animal cruelty. Women addicted to Netflix and cable TV and their eating and their junk and their shitty lifestyles, and they want to talk about men spanking their monkey. I don't think so. And I have met women that like to masturbate too. They're great people to talk to. And sometimes, and I've said this before, I go to church after church across this country, and they're all the same. Nobody cares about anybody but their little groupies. They all think they're holy because of the way they dress. And I see no real, genuine, bona fide transformation. I just see a clique, a groupie, and ignoring anybody they don't feel comfortable with. I mean, I've long hair, chain, my style. That doesn't go well where I currently live. I heard the pastor this week say, Some people will actually dress like a Christian and think they're a Christian. I'm like, what is dressing like a Christian? Wearing suits and ties and your Sunday best? Hello, where's the support group for me? The people that wear suits and ties and dress professional have left scars on my life. And if anybody wants to pay attention to deeper stuff, you know who's screwing up this country more than anybody else? Suits and ties and college educated fools. Thank you very much. People like me aren't screwing up this country. I think that if you're fapping in front of children and standing in front of a window or in a park somewhere, you got some issues. I think that if you're jacking off in the workplace or doing stuff like that, you got a problem. I think the idea of a man being in touch with himself, looking at him in the mirror and rubbing one out. And there's even Christians like James Dobson, and I don't agree with him on everything. He didn't feel that masturbation was a big sin. And people try to say the sin in onanism in the Bible. Onan was told to impregnate this woman, and he did the humpy humpy, and he pulled out, spilled his seed on the ground. And people say, "Oh, that's masturbation." No, it isn't. That is not what that is. And I don't care how many people I meet. If you can stop masturbating, great. I will not condemn you. But I promise you, if you think you're going to make that nocturnal emission go away, and I'm telling you, I've been asleep and woke up with a mess and some lurid dream. And I'm like, man, I didn't conjure this stuff up. The body will get rid of semen. It's designed to do it. And I think there's a lot of to-do made about men masturbating, and women, that's none of your damn business. You guys, you women have a lot of nerve to think that we are supposed to kowtow to your standards. No, we don't. And if you want to say you don't get a date, I don't want to date with your kind. The older I get, the less dating appeals to me. The less being involved in a relationship appeals to me. And they might counter with, well, that's because you jack off. I hate to say it, but masturbation has saved me a lot of going out with people that I shouldn't. And I'm going to say something. Just because a woman's a Christian doesn't mean she's any better. Anybody remember years ago that crazy woman in Aurora, Colorado that I called Gypsy? A year of her attacking and stalking and emailing me and watching my channel and sharing it with her friends to tell me that everybody thought I was crazy and messed up. Can you imagine being married to that? I'm closer to the Apostle Paul than you are. That's why you sent me scantily clad pictures to tempt and to tease and to cockblock me, right? She was not interested in me. She was another one of those Caucasian women that got on a date site when at that time I was looking for ebony. You can determine if I'm ebony or not. Really, white as a ghost. But I took the bait. I was dumb. She was attractive. I didn't care that she sent pictures with no shirt on and the hair down her back. She didn't show her breasts. But she's trying to get on a rant about a video I had about how I'm not holy, how I'm not this. And I'm like, well, neither are you. Look at the pictures you're sending to me. Go ask your pastor if he would recommend that. Silence, crickets. And this crap went on and on and on until I finally said, if you don't stop it, I'm going to call the school district you work for and tell them what a teacher's doing. Silence. The last time I messaged her because there was stuff going on, I said, are you that person that's doing and saying all this? And she responded with her immature rhetoric in an email. I'm married and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, pity the fool that married her. I don't care what anybody says. Men that marry women like that, I promise you, they'll hear me talk. Oh, I'll fucking kick his ass. Hey, he's talking about it. Yeah, that's the kind of men you get. And I don't care. I'm not American men. And I will never apologize for that. In the last few years, I've been through my own private hell in many, many ways. I've had to become a man in a different way than I've ever become. Face things head on by myself with no help. I could give a shit what Gypsy thought of me. I looked at the deficit in my own life of caring too much because of an attraction. I remember being a kid. I remember being young once, wanting so bad to get that pretty girl. Now I'm like, I could care less. I'm not going to do a fucking dance and gymnastics and hamster Olympics to win some silly, narcissistic, stuck up, conceited, slut tease girl for me. If I live alone, I'm there now. And ironically, even currently, there's another school teacher here where I live that is totally into me with all of my faults and flaws. Imagine that. And she's Caucasian. And the thing that's really interesting is that when I did a video years ago, several women, Maharani was one, somebody in Barbados, my tell-all. Contrast that with Gypsy, who was attacking and attacking and attacking me. And four of the women said, oh my gosh, I watched this video and it's like men are not honest like this. Gypsy saying, you're yelling. You probably got STDs. I was in Florida years ago, had a full battery, none. So you were wrong again, Ronald. Women like that are not fun to be around. We men are under the illusion. We see a pretty body. Don't be fooled. There's no passion. There's no excitement. She's got to have her baggage in Starbucks and SUV and her mentality and this and that. You want to be married to that? I hated Colorado. I hate it to this day. Everybody loves their damn cars and SUVs and being in traffic and cutting everybody off. There's a culture out there that's just stupid. And I came here to be a homeowner. I came here to try to build some, and it's been a hell of a struggle. And the women out here, I'm not even going to go there except to say a whole lot of obesity in the South and a whole lot of undesirable things down here. And I've watched as Filipinos, they used to flood my inbox with friend requests. They're not doing that anymore. Now they're posting their Facebook and they want tons of men and women hearting their pictures. The attention-seeking whoredom that goes on in the U.S. has been exported around the globe. The internet has shifted. 4 years ago, I was getting flooded with requests from Thailand and Africa. All of that has slowed down. Even friends I currently have that I have a Facebook relationship with in a positive way, they've become attention whores. Thank you, dear. Thank you, honey. Thank you, dear. Thank you, honey. And I've talked to women that have been honest. Do you masturbate? Yep. Do you? Yep. Feels good. Yep. Cool. If you, in your walk with God, feel that you shouldn't do it, then don't. But I'll be damned if I'm going to have some woman come into my life tell me what I cannot do. You're not God. You are not my God, and you are not over me. Go away, fly. And I think women have failed to look at how they have become so feminist that they're overstepping their bounds in many ways. They do not know their place. They think that they can compete and do things better than a man. No, they can't. Look around America. Look at the debris and wreckage, flotsam and jetsam, all across this landscape because of women. Come here into the African American community and look at 75% of the problems in the Black community are caused by themselves, Morgan Freeman said. Look at Black women and their children. The children down here are some of the worst children I've seen. When I drove a school bus, I no longer drive a school bus. I got out of that. Enough's enough. These kids are off the chain down here. And women think they don't need a man. These women do not do a good job at raising children. But what do you think's driving this transgender thing? And girls wanting to use the boys' bathroom? A culture raised by women that are incompetent and don't have a toolbox of appropriate tools. Because when women want to talk about men jacking off and how evil that is, women fail to realize you cannot and never will be a dad or a father. And when I see women with their snipey, snarky, smart-ass attitude saying, oh, Father's Day, I might as well get Father's Day recognition. No, you can't. You're not a father. And just you posting that shows me you're an immature mother handing the baton of bullshit behavior and thinking to a kid, and that kid's going to grow up to reflect that. It takes a man and a woman. And I don't ever profess to have all the answers and in perfection. But it's none of anybody's business if a man or a woman pleasure themselves. And this whole movement, this whole false bravado claims of a movement, and all I've seen with men, including a friend I had, they got on Facebook and started condemning me because I posted a picture of a woman. I said, oh, here we go. I said, what's bringing this on? Last week, you were hearting all those pictures. Why join the No Fap movement? Well, congratulations. Now you entered the self-righteous movement. If you do something to better yourself and you are becoming self-righteous, please don't tell me that's a fruit of the Spirit. You should breathe the fresh air of freedom. And you should be praying for me, not lambasting me. I don't like this world system. I don't like corporate America. I don't like idiots in cars. I don't like a lot of things. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't chew. And you know what? Women aren't interested in men that are hardworking and clean. They're not. And if you want to follow that rabbit trail with these women and say, well, I stopped masturbating, maybe all these women will be attracted to me. No, they won't. Saying that if you masturbate, it takes all your energy away. That's funny. They haven't met me. My energy doesn't go away. On the contrary, I've spent too much energy, time, and money pursuing women that weren't worth a damn cent or 1 ohm of my energy and time. I have to stand before God, and I'm going to tell you to your face on YouTube, I don't believe I'm going to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Does that bother me? Of course it does. But I've tried and tried and tried, and I cannot. Something happens and I find foulness come out of my mouth. I find that my mind is not pure, and I know that I'm a Christian, but I know that I just can't seem to get there. I followed all the formulaic approaches that Arterburn and all these people that have made millions of dollars off their so-called books of success at moral purity, and they're living in their fine houses and have their creature comforts. I'm tired of it. If you got the answer, why are you marketing this? Why don't you give it for free? But they don't. The Christians are in love with materialism, and not a damn thing is said in this culture about that, including all these book writers. Nobody's standing up loudly and condemning Beth Moore. She doesn't have a ministry. She's got a self-promoting gig, making tons of money. She is not, in my opinion, bringing glory and honor to God. And when these people get so popular, oh, she's against Trump and she's against, so, okay, now you're against conservatives and now you're just so full of yourself, and you got silly little women getting up underneath you because women in the church have embraced feminism, whether they realize it or not. And feminism is not a fruit of the spirit, and feminism is not biblical. So I'm not going to listen to a woman telling me what to do with my pud. You're not going to go out with me. You're not going to marry me. So mind your business. And I know this isn't exactly a polished video. I know many women will sit there and go, oh my God, who is your God? The one in your own mind? The one you made up? Women that are judging us men and acting like they are the holy of holies, I would question what kind of relationship with Jesus they have. Women use this as a sledgehammer to get revenge on us. Nope, you didn't meet my requirement. Nope, you do that. Oh, you're bad. These women are not breathing the fresh air of the gospel. They're condemning, they're judgmental, they're self-righteous. Spend 5 minutes with them, you'll find out they're not godly at all. All talk, all bullshit. They're trapped in American consumerism and culture and think that their little ideas are just so intellectual and so spiritual. If God tells you to stop doing something, listen to him. But I'll ask you this. Is it better to masturbate than to go out and fuck a woman? I think so. Because one, you do have sex, you have a bond, you become one with, you could get her pregnant. And no matter how you try to pull out of that and decide, oops, I could have had a V8, now you got locked into a dynamic with a woman that you didn't bargain for. The idea that the lies that women say that masturbating devalues women. Excuse me, women, you devalued yourself. You dress shitty. You get breast implants, pancake makeup, and you smell, and you got odors, and on and on and on I could go. You have nothing to desire. You dangle that carrot of your little, I didn't wear a bra today, and that's what it is. There's no passion. I don't see you with a fire for God. I see you as a biatch, a miserable woman imposing your sense of morality and false piety on us as another hoop for us to jump through. Men, stop jumping through hoops of women. You don't need to do tryouts to be on our team, okay? This isn't sports. And look at what Christian women choose. Thugs, jerks, a-holes. Now, we don't listen to women on matters of sexual purity and this and that. Not when you have a woman sending pictures with her hair down her back to show you how long her hair was with no top on. Why don't you just turn around and show it all? Because that's ultimately what you want to do. But you're more closer to the Apostle Paul. Yeah, I got a bridge. The No Fap movement is full of false claims. Anything that makes you self-righteous and extremely judgmental about others is probably something to avoid. You measuring your holiness because you stopped doing something and now you're going to look at everybody else. Oh, you're not as good at that is not of God. The older I get, and I'm not there, yet, personally, but the older I get, the breath of fresh air is when you really come into something. God woos us with a love. He wants us to love him. He wants us to have a passion for him. But so often in the American church, you see uptight, Sally self-righteousness, spinsters for Jesus, judgmental, condemning. The Bible says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." And you got these people self-righteous and condemning. You want to model that life? So I masturbated. Those same women are quiet, Christian women, about abortion. They'll even say, well, if the mother's life's in jeopardy, read the Bible. That's not what it says. When women are so concerned about dogs, animal cruelty, and wasting money on something as useless as Starbucks, which has no nutritional value at all, it's flim flam business. When women are obsessed with SUVs and women are just, and white men still pursue women like that. And when they married them, they're not fulfilled. They're not happy. They're stuck. They're trapped. And guess what they end up doing? Jacking off somewhere, not with her. If you can get closer to God by stopping something, I would tell you do it. We've all been impugned, us men. But I tell you, if you look at a woman with lust, you've already committed adultery. That nails every one of us, unless the guy's gay. Well, now you're into homosexual sex, so that takes you to a whole different category. It's wrong. And I think the No Fap movement is nothing but a bunch of hot air at the end of the day.